First things first, the thought-to-be unstoppable Tampa Bay Bucks are suddenly getting stopped. Is it time to hit the panic button after Tampa lost their second straight? Cam Newton had himself a first day of work. First two plays, two touchdowns. Mike Vick will join us to break down Cam's epic day. And Mac Jones and the Patriots steamrolled the Cleveland Browns yesterday. And with that, we say good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. Jenna Wolfe, Nick Wright. Broussard, great to have you back. And the aforementioned Kevin Wildes. Wildes, try this one on for size. You ready? Here we go. New England Patriots, Super Bowl contenders. How does that fit?
Oh, not only am I trying that on for size, I actually have the T-shirts made up over there. I'll debut them in the D block. New T-shirts, New England Patriots, Super Bowl contenders from now until the end of time.
Sadly, I'm so excited my Siri phone started going off. All right, we're going to get to all that Sunday afternoon football. We start with Sunday night football, where Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs had their way with the Las Vegas Raiders. KC looked nothing like the team that had struggled to score the last 3 weeks. Mahomes looked nothing like the quarterback who couldn't put up those big, gaudy numbers anymore. He went out and threw for 406 yards. He went out and threw 5 touchdown passes. He is the reason Nick is mumbling under his breath throughout my read here to start off the show. Keep going. On a day when the rest of the AFC West lost, the Chiefs won big. They rolled over the Raiders. 41-14 was your final. After the game, head coach Andy Reid on his quarterback bouncing back.
That's lasted longer than any quarterback in the history of the game without a slump, right? And so it's going to happen. There's going to be a little something that it doesn't go your way. And it's important that you power through it, stay confident, and keep firing. And so that's how he's wired. And you knew he was going to get through the ups and downs just by the way he handles himself.
We're trying to be our own version of the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, we know that it's what it takes because we've been in the Super Bowl games and stuff like that. But I think we kind of went back these last few weeks and kind of went back to let's just take it day by day. Let's not worry about the Super Bowl right now. Let's figure out how we can make ourselves better as a team each and every day. And I think that's what you've seen these last 3 weeks of finding ways to get wins.
Patty, you don't have to worry about the Super Bowl. That's what we have Nick for. Check this out. Chiefs went from worst in the AFC West yesterday all the way to first after their win and, of course, with the rest of the division losing. All right, Nick Wright, you have been rubbing it in our faces from the moment we all logged on to our morning meeting this morning. You are sitting down. Here is your time and your platform. Are the Chiefs officially back, my friend?
Well, I tried to warn you, America, and that old rapscallion Kevin Wildes laughed at me. I tried to tell you there was a clear, obvious turning point in the season for the Kansas City Chiefs. And it was not a game, it was not a drive, it was a singular throw. It was the throw to end the Packers game when Patrick Mahomes' body-snatching situation was gone and he was back. And Wildes laughed and tried to poo-poo. It was like, oh, you were trying to win championships before. Now you're happy about one throw. And what he didn't understand, what America didn't understand, Broussard, is that one throw will lead to the championships. Since that throw, what has Patrick Mahomes done? Oh, he's gone 35 of 50. He's thrown for 400 yards. He's thrown for 5 touchdowns. That, by the way, is his third career 400-yard, 5-touchdown game, which is, let me check, the most in NFL history. He's played 3.5 seasons. The most in NFL history. In fact, we could even show the graphic. Who is he tied with? Peyton Manning, Dan Marino, and another Chiefs great, Joe Montana. That's right, Joey Cool in a Chiefs jersey, because we are peeling that type of way this morning. So here's the deal, Broussard. Andy Reid said it in ways better than I could. Patrick Mahomes had gone longer than any quarterback in the history of football without a slump. Which is why, when he had a slump, a bad month, everyone lost their damn minds. Blueprint's out. He's been figured out. He should be a check down Charlie. No, he shouldn't. He should do what we just saw. Go across your body, chuck it across the field to your backup running back. Throw touchdowns to your third string tight end. The first pass of the game, Broussard, old lefty pass. Just like the Broncos game, his rookie season, or his de facto rookie season. He's back. Chiefs defense been awesome for a month now. And all of a sudden, Broussard, the Kansas City Chiefs, back where they really should have been all year. The scariest team in the AFC. Say it with me, my friend, and welcome back to Broussard. Mahomes is back. Broussard's back. What a Monday morning.
Well, I am back, but you know what? So is the cocky, arrogant, obnoxious Nick Wright. And it's good to have you back, man.
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy was on most of these other Mondays. You were back. It's good to see you. You even wore the red tie. That was obviously predictable.
I did.
And look, Nick, I don't want to state the obvious, but who was #1 on the Bud list last week?
Oh,
it was Patrick Mahomes. Clearly he was inspired. I did send it in, though. It got a little airtime, and Pat Mahomes responded. So you are welcome, Nick Wright. Look, I, like you, did pick them to win the Super Bowl in the preseason. I will say this. I am not quite as confident about them reaching the Super Bowl as I was in the preseason. But, yes, they are right back in the hunt. Some of that is because there's no world beater in the AFC, right? I mean, Baltimore's lost games. Buffalo's lost games that we make us scratch our head. Tennessee doesn't have Derrick Henry. So it's open. And, yeah, I would agree with Nick. The scariest team, if this is who they are again, has to be Kansas City. And what I liked, Nick, yesterday, Pat Mahomes, that you kind of scoffed at the fundamentals and this and that. But I thought yesterday he was like the perfect combination of the smarter, more patient quarterback he had been trying to be over the past 3 or 4 weeks and the gunslinger that we've all come to know and love. You saw both, and it looked like he realized that if I just take what they're giving me underneath, that will open up the deep ball. It might open it up differently than it did in the past where we were just throwing deep and doing all this wild and crazy stuff regardless. Now we have to be a little more patient with it, but it opens it up, and they did that yesterday. And the other thing about this offensive approach that I really like, I think it could make them a better team over the long haul, is that it helps the defense. They had drives of what? Scoring drives of 11 plays, 10 plays, 13 plays, 9 plays, 8 plays, 7 plays. That they had 35-plus minutes of possession to 24-plus for their opponent, and that keeps the defense off the field. And so while we always hear the term complementary football, I do like the defense's improvement because I was skeptical. Okay, you look good against the Giants, against Washington, against Green Bay without Aaron Rodgers. To do what they did to Derek Carr, that was impressive. So they're back. They're right there with all the other contenders in the AFC.
Yeah, quick programming note. We're going to end this show early because we've all got to catch flights to Kansas City. There's going to be a ticker tape parade because the Chiefs are now 6-4. Oh, my goodness. They are back in a major way. 6-4. Just like the Patriots are 6-4. But you know what we're doing? Nothing. We're saying, yeah, we'll be a pretty good team. The idea that you are so happy, Nick, that the Chiefs are so confident, like we got our swagger back, that they're taking inspirations from memes is a little embarrassing. And I'm going to play some sound here, which I personally like, but still embarrassing for the $500 million man. Take a listen.
I think I got my swagger back.
Shane Buechele came up to me and showed me this video with this kid, and he was saying, I got my swagger back. And so that was something that was kind of my motto this week. And I think the whole team kind of got that swag back, and we're going to try to keep that thing rolling.
I think I got my swagger back.
So look, Nick, I am happy for you. Travis Kelce also did an impression of this after the game. We're going to play that sound later on. But look, there is a little bit of Kentucky fans rushing the court in the second round of the tournament. Guys, act like you've been here before. You've been to back-to-back Super Bowls. Stop with the parade. We're going 6-4. The idea that Mahomes has to say, let's not worry about the Super Bowl right now, and then you come on the show guess who's back in the Super Bowl driver's seat? I just think you guys need to take it easy just a little bit. Act confident. Act like you've been here before. That's all. I need to rain on your parade.
So I would like to congratulate Kevin Wildes at building, just a beautiful, glorious, perfect straw man, because the Chiefs aren't planning any parades. I also would like to remind the audience, I know we all have short attention spans, but Kevin Wildes literally 8 minutes ago told America he has T-shirts ready for the Patriots being 6-4. You literally said you have Super Bowl T-shirts that we're debuting in the D block. So I'm glad the Patriots aren't planning any parades, but you, Kevin Wildes, very well might be. But what is not going to happen, is us to gloss over the fact that our friend in the bottom right corner of the screen over the last month has said the Chiefs will miss the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes needs to get back to fundamentals. Patrick Mahomes, who, by the way, is on one of the longest streaks of any starting quarterback in the league without a turnover now. We'll show you that graphic later. I'm saving it, building towards the end of the show. Patrick Mahomes has a turnover problem. The Chiefs, who all of a sudden have the league's best, not good, not okay, the league's best second-half defense in the last 20 years. That Chiefs, second half's not important. It's half the game, the more important half. We'll talk about that later. Don't worry about it. Your guy, your Super Bowl quarterback, by the way, okay, that's fine. Listen, your Super Bowl quarterback, by the way, I believe is Russell Wilson, who put up 0 points against that dominant Packers defense that Patrick Mahomes managed 13 against. But the whole NFL media, and I will use Kevin Wildes as a proxy for them, lost their damn minds, Jenna, because of a bad month of football. Patrick Mahomes walked into this league, threw 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards, and won the league MVP. That was year one. Year two, what was his follow-up act? Super Bowl MVP. Year three, he finished third in MVP voting, went 14-1, and went back to the Super Bowl. The guy had a bad month, and we're putting Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson all ahead of him in his own damn conference. So yeah, they did get their swagger back a bit because fools like you were writing them off. And now they're back where they belong. First place. Coming, by the way. All right. That one seed, still on the table, America. Still on the table, America.
Weren't you in panic mode a couple weeks ago, Nick? Am I imagining things, or was Nick in panic mode?
You are.
Kansas City Chiefs back in the driver's seat. Winners of 3 in a row. They get ready for the Dallas Cowboys next week. We'll talk about them coming up. Back talking Mac Jones now. The Mac attack in full force yesterday.
Threw for 198 yards.
Did the rookie quarterback have the best performance on NFL Sunday? We discussed that next. First things first. Best performance. Hey, tonight on FS1, the Gavitt tip-off games begin. 2 elite conferences go head-to-head. First, number 11, Illinois faces Marquette. Then Providence takes on Wildes?
Friars versus Badgers.
Catch all the action tonight starting 7 Eastern, FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Go Badgers. Time now for Eye Openers, and I'm going to kick us off. My eyes will be on Odell Beckham Jr. tonight, making his debut for the L.A. Rams. Monday Night Football. Rams, 49ers, see what OBJ puts together after his Browns tenure. I'll say it never quite took off. But Chris Broussard, the player who opened your eyes in Week 10, was blank.
Jenna, I usually don't go negative on this. I'll leave that to Nick. But Mike White, all right, the New York Jets quarterback. Can we stop it now? Can we stop it now with the Kurt Warner, even Tom Brady comparisons? No more articles about Tom Brady and Mike White being one and the same, potentially. All right, New York, the media and the fans, and I get it, but they are starving. They are so hungry for a great quarterback that they turn the 5th-round pick, the practice squad king, Mike White, into a cult hero. They made him Jeremy Lin in shoulder pads. All right, but he came crashing back to earth with a thud on Sunday. 4 interceptions in a bad loss to Buffalo. And He was just horrible, threw 3 interceptions in the third quarter that decided it. So now we can put all those comparisons to rest and give the job back to Zach Wilson. All right, you spent the 2nd round pick on him. There shouldn't be any controversy. When he gets back healthy, and that could be next week, he will be the starter, and that is good for New York. So, Nick, it didn't really open my eyes because I thought Mike White would be who we thought he was eventually, but it opened the eyes of the Big Apple, and they're better off for it.
Yeah. And Broussard misspoke there. He was 2nd overall pick on Zach Wilson, which I know is what you meant, but which is the point of why you have to go with him. Let me just stay here for a moment. I think this Mike White game was the first good thing to happen to the Jets in the better part of a decade.
Correct.
The worst thing possible for the franchise was for Mike White to have played great, then gotten hurt, not like we thought it happened last week, to where everyone would only think of him as the great player. Jets fans needed to see Mike White be Mike White. They did. Now it's gone forever, and you can move forward with Zach Wilson. I wasn't a huge fan of Zach Wilson coming out of BYU, but the Jets obviously were. They have to put all their time, effort, and energy into him. You don't do anything with Mike White. When people say a Kurt Warner situation, the Rams quarterback was Trent Green, who was fine and did well with the Chiefs after, but it wasn't a guy you had just spent the 2nd overall pick on, and so I think this is actually good for the Jets. For me, the answer is Dak Prescott, because Dak answered the question, is his calf fully healthy? The answer is yes. He's sliced and diced the, temporarily playoff Atlanta Falcons. They were the playoff team going into the week, not anymore. He was spectacular. This game that I was ready to watch the whole thing of, you could turn this game off midway through the 2nd quarter. It's 36-3 at halftime. Dak was spectacular. And this was low-key a very important game for Dallas because they have the toughest game on their schedule next week. So if they lost last week, had they lost this week, all of a sudden they're staring at a 3-game losing streak. You might be like, Nick, I don't have the Cowboys schedule memorized. What are they doing next week? Oh, they're going to Arrowhead, America, installed already as more than field goal underdogs because, they're playing the most dangerous team in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs. So they had to get that win. They got the win. Dak was great. And a little Dan Quinn. Okay, I maybe blew the Super Bowl when I was the head coach of the Falcons, but I'm not going to let you guys beat me up when I'm the D coordinator for the Cowboys. So Dak Prescott opened my eyes wide.
All right, so my answer is Russ / the entire Seattle Seahawks organization. This whole year for the Seahawks has been like a bad comedy football movie that's not funny at all. Pete Carroll's out there throwing hand warmers instead of challenge flags. DK Metcalf got ejected, didn't realize it, came back to the huddle like, no, you got ejected. He said, okay. And Carlos Dunlap threw a Packers shoe and got a penalty. Like, isn't that funny, guys? No. Meanwhile, Russ had one of the worst games of his career, went 20 for 40, 161 yards after rushing back from a finger injury. And he said, you know what? I was fine. It wasn't the finger's fault. He even released a hand hype video to get us excited for this. I'd never seen a hand hype video. It didn't live up to expectations. Not too excited about it. So should have Russ have come back? Probably not. Do I think there's major issues in Seattle, Nick? Yeah. We're not that far removed from Russ saying he wanted to leave, and I don't know how a mess of a 3-6 season makes him want to double down and stay in Seattle. Do you think that Russ's time in Seattle is coming to an end? Because I do.
Oh, I think it's closer than it's ever been. It's closer right now than it was this offseason because they were never trading him this offseason. But now you do have to wonder if that's on the table. I'm personally surprised that all the pantomiming huddles with no one around didn't pay off more. But I have a journalistic question for Chris Broussard. Because it was reported on Sunday morning on the NFL Network that Russell Wilson was rehabbing 19 hours a day. Now, I've never been a true professional journalist. I have a journalism degree, but I've never been a true professional journalist. Broussard has. He's won awards. He's written for the New York Times, all these things. When a source gives you a story that you know is a total lie and fabrication, Do you go with it? Do you ignore it? Or is the story Russell Wilson's camp is lying about how long he's rehabbing, arguing he's rehabbing 19 hours a day? What do you do as a journalist? Because the NFL Network is like, hey, big news. Russell Wilson doing one-finger push-ups while rehabbing and reading to small children. Amazing what this man does. I just thought it was a little too credulous of reporting. You tell me, journalist Chris Broussard.
Well, look, if a source tells me that on the phone or something, I chuckle, I laugh, I giggle, say, wow, really? And I never write it. Because obviously that's ridiculous. 19 hours a day. Maybe if I'm talking on the air, I say he's been around the clock rehabbing. His people joked it was even 19 hours a day, but no, you can't go with that. Yeah. That's just ridiculous.
If he'd only done 17, Jenna, Seattle might have scored negative points. Yeah, they would have scored.
We literally had the same joke, but we used different words. Yeah, we both use different words for it. Make the same point. Hey, I don't like what I saw out of Russ. I do like what I saw out of Cam Newton. Superman had his cape on yesterday. Did Cam prove he can actually carry Carolina to the playoffs? Ask these guys next. First things first. I'm back. Time to run the No Huddle. Jump around the league. Start with Tampa visiting Washington. Bucks coming off the bye, but played like they were still on it. Looked terrible yesterday. Tom Brady picked off twice to the delight of Nick Wright. The NFL's best scoring offense had nothing going against the league's worst pass defense. And Tampa, how about Tampa favored by 10 coming into this one? Washington pulls off the upset. They dropped the Bucks to 6-3 on the season. Second straight loss, by the way, for the Buccaneers. Bruce Arians, big unhappy after the game.
Baffling to me, after the week of practice I watched these guys have, that we could play that poorly. We played with enough passion and energy for about 8 or 9 minutes to win games in this league. And we got to show up on Sundays. We're doing a hell of a job Monday through Friday, but we're not showing up on Sundays. It's all about execution and being a smart football team. We're a very dumb football team. And that's a reflection of the coaches.
What did you see in the 2 interceptions?
We started with the ball, they came away with it, so thank you guys.
One of the best post-game series of sound bites I've heard in a long time. I watched as much of that as I possibly could. Not many answers after that Bucs performance as they continue to fall behind. Look at this. The race for the NFC's best record. 4 teams ahead of them now. Reminder, only 1 bye per conference up for grabs this season. Other reminders include hand washing and checking the weather before you leave the house. Hey, Nick, how concerned should the Bucs be after their second straight loss?
Oh, they should be concerned. They've played 4 teams that would currently be in the playoffs. Washington, obviously not one of them. And they're 2-2. The 2 victories came on field goals in the final moments, and the 2 losses, they were dominated. And that whole mystique of the Bucs after the bye, that bubble got popped instantly. But Broussard, I think this is a good lesson that maybe, and this might be the nicest thing I say about New England all day, don't judge divorces so quickly. We have celebrity divorces, and Belichick and Brady might be the most famous one. Well, here's what I'm saying. Celebrity divorce, if in the first year after the divorce, you know, the wife gets remarried, is posting workout pics on IG, and the husband loses his job and gets arrested, it's like, oh, she won the divorce. But time goes on. And if after that, all of a sudden, you know, the husband gets a new gig, is looking good, and there's rumors. I heard the wife's going to rehab. Things have gone south for her. Then all of a sudden, we're like, oh, maybe we judged it a little too early. And I'm just telling you right now, yeah, it's true. It got dark there quickly, didn't it? But this is how celebrity divorces go. Rehab's always on the table. Broussard, it just is, man. Check the stats. Broussard, I'm just telling you, it looked like, oh my God, Tom Brady has won the divorce going away. Well, as we sit here today, amazingly, the Bucs and the Patriots have the same amount of victories. They both have 6 wins this year.
That sounds great.
And the Patriots are one of the hottest teams in the league. And meanwhile, the Bucs have lost. They haven't won in a month. They lost. They had a bye. They lost again. So I think you should be concerned about Tampa, and I think we should reserve a little judgment on the Brady-Belichick divorce.
Another lesson to be learned, Nick. Don't overreact to a week of bad football. Brady's won the divorce, okay? Period. What he did last year won the divorce at age 43. The best Belichick can do is to make it close. Maybe even it out over the years, but Brady's won the divorce, no doubt about that. Nick, weren't we here a year ago? Yeah, we were. November, for some reason, is a bad month for the Buccaneers. Because last November, they lost 3 of 5 games. They lost 3 out of 4 in one stretch. Remember, they were blasted at home by New Orleans. Everybody thinks they're done. And you mentioned it. Have they beaten any good teams? It's funny you didn't mention the names of the teams that they beat, the playoff teams. New England, who you just praised, they beat them. And Dallas, who I think you have as the best team in the league right now. And so they haven't been as bad as you are letting on, all right? I know people are saying, the bye week last year, they came back and they didn't lose again. The bye week was later last year. It was week 13 last year. It was a lot earlier this year. They will be fine. I'm not concerned at all about Brady. I know he's had 5 turnovers in the last 2 weeks. But unless you think Father Time Wilds has all of a sudden won the fight against Brady and he'll never be the same, there's no reason to worry about him. The defense is a bit of a concern, no doubt. They gave up that 19-play, 10.5-minute drive at the end of the game, which I couldn't believe it was the longest drive of the season. So that's concerning, but they do have 3 starters in the defensive backfield, including Richard Sherman, coming back this season. So it is not time to panic at all about Tampa Bay Wilds. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think Richard Sherman's got a lot left on the tag. I actually thought it was kind of cool when he had the headset on coaching. I'm like, you actually might be better over on the sidelines rather than playing. But here's the thing. I'm not worried about Tampa Bay's record. Look, they're not going to go undefeated. Last year, they won the Super Bowl, lost 5 games. These are Super Bowl winners. Chiefs won the Super Bowl, lost 2. That's pretty good, but an outlier. Pats lost 5. The Eagles lost 7. All won the Super Bowl. So look, we can't freak out every time the Bucs lose a game. Secondly, if they do lose a few games, Nick, and they have to go on the road, well, we just saw last year that they can take the road all the way to the Super Bowl and win it. Granted, I do think the Super Bowl was a home game, so that is a little bit of a, poop in the pool. But overall, they can make that work. Secondly, this is not the full contingent of Tampa's offense. No AB, no Gronk. See O.J. Howard jumping off sides, Bruce Arians yelling at him. So, guess what? That's not going to happen if Gronk's out there and his playing time goes down a little bit. So I am not worried about the Bucs at all. But I do like your divorce theory. I thought that was excellent. Jury's still out on the divorce. Thanks. I thought that was probably your best.
Just listen, life goes on. If you get divorced in your mid-40s, maybe you're winning at 46, but who's going to be winning at 56 and 66? Who knows? A couple of notes here. One is, Wilds, while I appreciate you retroactively giving the Chiefs credit for last year's Super Bowl, they actually didn't win the Super Bowl last year. That's when they had 2 losses. The year the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, they also had 4. No, but they had 4 losses. It's to your point. They were of 12 and 14 that year. So it's to your point about Tampa. It actually supplements your point about Tampa Bay. But so the one thing that I think is noteworthy for the Bucs that Wilds is looking at as a positive, I might be looking at as a negative. When key contributors, forget Richard Sherman, who also might be done, but our Antonio Brown, our Rob Gronkowski, is them being out of the lineup with injuries at that age going to be something we have to think is more regular than outlier? And if the Bucs offense, grinds to a halt like this against a Washington defense that's been bad all year, lost Chase Young early in this game, then if they have to have all those weapons in order to score points on Washington, I think that is concerning to a degree. Plus, Us Weekly says, I've been seen around the rehab facility. I'm just telling you, it's just something to monitor, John. Okay. No. Just something to monitor. You did that too long.
By the way, Nick,
it's too dark.
Your guy, Heineke, played pretty well. Hey, let's head out west.
Yeah,
Panthers,
he did. Thank you,
Cardinals, and the return of Cam Newton. Didn't start the game, but came in the first quarter, and on his first play, runs it in for 6, takes off his helmet, tells the world that he's back. I'm back. That's what he said. Cam used to be a force inside the 5 for the Panthers. As it turns out, still is. Okay, so that was his first play. How did he do on his second play back? Fired a touchdown to Robbie Anderson. Self-titled Superman delivers a Superman sequel. 2 plays, 2 touchdowns, and the Panthers win big. After the game, Cam Newton with a little perspective on the emotion shown after his first score.
Well, I put it like this. This time last week, I was eating a bowl of cereal. Like, you feel me? So I told Coach Rule it would never happen again, and it wouldn't. That one on me. But yet, I mean, I was eating cereal last week. You know what I mean? So that just puts things into perspective.
How much does this offense need the energy and the fun that Cam brings?
I think like 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? 1,000%.
Broussard, how come we never take selfies like that when we're talking to the media? Hey, what was your reaction, Broussard, to Cam's 2 touchdowns in his return to the Panthers?
We must start that, Jenna. But look, I loved it. I think anybody with a heart had to love what you saw. Look, this is a guy, 32 years old, was at one time the MVP of the league, one of the best to play in the NFL. And now he's sitting there saying, there's no way that 32 quarterbacks in the NFL are better than me. And he was right. And I get why he wasn't signed, but there aren't 32 guys that are better than him. So you saw all of the anger and frustration he'd been feeling probably for the last 2 months in that first run. He broke, 3 tackles? He would not be denied. Yeah. Look, he got the penalty for celebrating. I was fine with it because he deserved to say that. He's been through a lot and looked good. Now, overall, though, I think it was a tease. I felt cheated because I'm watching the games yesterday, and I'm watching all the games, and that game was not on my big screen. Once I saw Kyler Murray was out, that game was relegated to the 4 box, but I put it on the big screen when I saw Cam playing. So I was hoping to see more of Cam, and we didn't get much more. It was a tease. Now, they're saying, I get it why. P.J. Walker was okay, but also he just got back. He probably doesn't know the playbook yet. He's still adjusting to Matt Rule's offense, all that. Okay, I get it. But Wilds, I do think that going forward, obviously the reports are that it looks like he'll start next week. And while I don't expect Cam to get back to what he used to be, I don't expect him to turn back the clock and be great. With that defense, and with Christian McCaffrey, who looked sensational yesterday, there's no other way to describe it. With that defense and McCaffrey, if he stays healthy, Cam could potentially lead them to the playoffs. That is not off the table by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, that is on the table, but probably won't happen. And here's the ugly truth, because I'm rooting for Cam, and I was happy when he took his helmet off. You know, I just love the whole thing. But, Nick, here's the truth, and someone's got to say it. It doesn't mean I don't love Cam anymore. Panthers still need to go out and find a quarterback. We know that Cam can be effective in goal line situations. We saw that all last year with the Patriots. He can't throw the ball down the field anymore. Maybe his shoulder is healed. Maybe he's healthy again. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. But all last year, and statistics bear it out, that yards 15 plus yards down the field, Cam is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league since his shoulder injury. So look, it was a nice day for Carolina. I was happy for Cam, but they're still in a tough spot because Sam Darnold's not the answer, P.J. Walker's not the answer, and I hate to say it, Cam is not your long-term answer either.
But we're not worried about the long term, and we're worried about the right. We're worried about the right now, and there's nothing you can do. It's November. They can't draft anyone right now. They can't trade for anyone right now. Worried about the right now. And by the way, I think the Panthers likely are going to make the playoffs now. And you might, Nick, that's reactionary. Go pull up the NFC standings, folks. You have 5 teams that are guaranteed to be in. We know who they are. Right now, the 6th seed is New Orleans, and the 7th seed is Carolina. After that, you're talking about Minnesota, my beloved Atlanta Falcons. Who's the other 4-win team that I'm forgetting about? Philly. So, like, New Orleans might fall more. Carolina could be the 6th seed. Like, I think Carolina's in decent shape. Two quick things. One is, that would have been a great opportunity when Cam took his helmet off Wilds for the referee to implement your half-baked idea, the Gucci flag. This is supposed to be a penalty. Actually, It's awesome. Gucci flag on the play. The Panthers get 15 yards. That's first thing. Second thing.
Facts.
I haven't fully developed this yet, Jenna. But I wonder if there is a Cam Newton, Carmelo Anthony cross-sport career arc comparison. Once upon a time great, written off. Folks said he should be out of the league, and then finds the right role with the right team, like Carmelo did with Portland and now has with the Lakers, and is showing he can not be great, but still be effective. I wonder, Jenna.
Melo had to be okay coming off the bench. Would Cam be okay maybe not starting every play? We'll see. Time for Nick to hand out some NBA medals. James Harden was balling on Friday night in New Orleans, 39 and 12 in the win, 12 assists, got to the free throw line 15 times as well. KD said after, Harden did a great job controlling the game. But Nick said he just missed out on a medal. Nick, which 3 guys did it better this weekend?
If we had a 4th place, a tungsten cube, Harden would have gotten that, but he just missed out. Bronze medal, Steph Curry. Friday night. Steph, not great last night. He was great Friday night. A nice little 40-piece for Steph against the frisky Chicago Bulls. Great defensive backcourt in Chicago with Caruso and Lonzo Ball. Silver medal, Anthony Davis. Wild showed you the alley-oop to himself. Carried the Lakers last night, plus THT. A couple clutch clients, by the way. 34, 15, and 6 for Anthony Davis. And then a gold, Trae Young. Listen, the Hawks were in a slump. What did they need? They needed Trae Young to go Trae Young. 42, 8, and 10 against the defending champions. A little Eastern Conference Finals rematch. I know everyone thinks the Eastern Conference Finals was Bucks-Nets. It actually wasn't. Nets got knocked out in round 2 last year. Just a reminder, America. There it is, Jenna. Your podium from the weekend. Hard to make the podium over the weekend. You got 3 days of games to deal with. He made it. What Warriors logo are we using? Get rid of that logo. I don't care that's the jerseys they wore. Oh, yeah. That's the ugliest logo in sports. There's the podium. Look at this guy.
Good stuff, Nick. Back to football. New England. Did Mac Jones and the Patriots prove they are legit contenders in the AFC yesterday? Talk about their blowout win next. First things first, Monday morning, back after this. First things first, back talking Patriots-Browns, and in the battle of Mac versus Mayfield, this was quite dominantly the former. Mac Jones and that New England offense having their way with the Browns. They scored on all 4 first-half possessions. Mac found Hunter Henry for 2 of his 3 touchdowns on the day. Mac finished an efficient 19 of 23. New England rolling over the hapless Browns 45-7. Baker, by the way,
Jenna
left the game late with a knee injury. I know, buddy. We're going to get to you. Mike Vick is joining us now to break this one down. But, Mike, obviously, you know we have to start with Kevin Wildes. Is it time, Kevin Wildes, to consider Mac Jones and the Patriots, I'm going to say it, legit Super Bowl contenders?
Oh, we're more than legit Super Bowl contenders, Jenna. We're legit on the verge of another dynasty. We went over to Europe for a gap year, and then we came back, and the dynasty is still on board. But I don't want to talk about Super Bowl right now. I want to be 100% serious. I want to be 100% serious, because it's been a rough week in Patriots Nation. Mac Jones was accused of being a cheater after Nick claimed he gator rolled Brian Burns' ankle. And it was a very serious story, and Brian Burns asked for an apology, and Mac Jones wouldn't give it to him. And Mike, I thought it was messed up. So now I want to right the wrongs from Mac Jones. If we can hit the music, I'm going to start a new tradition. I would like to apologize to the Browns on behalf of Mac Jones. So here it is. Dear Browns, on behalf of the New England Patriots, Mac Jones, and the entire Patriots organization, I'd like to apologize for carving you guys up. Carving you guys up to the point that we had to put Brian Hoyer in, and then he carved you. I'd also like to apologize for this spray chart graphic, which has a whole lot of green on it and very few white dots, which are the incompletions that Mac Jones threw, which are only 4 of them, Mike Vick. In the last 4 games, the Patriots have outscored their opponents 150-50, and that is due to this guy, Mac Jones. So I'd like to also apologize to the entire NFL for getting your hopes up that the Patriots were going away. We are not. We are strongly right here. And Mike, I'm happy for it, but I'm still apologizing on behalf of all of New England. Mike, did you love this game as much as I did? Because it sat right here in my heart.
That was great. That was great, Wes.
Understood, Wiles. I mean, look, I'm watching the game, and with every positive play from the New England Patriots, I'm thinking about you, my man, and I know you was ecstatic throughout the course of this game, and for all the right reasons. But if you would have told me that the New England Patriots would beat the Cleveland Browns by 40 points with a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back, I would have told you was a lie. And it just goes back to, what we thought last year, a couple missing pieces away from being a playoff contender last year. Now, Super Bowl, I don't know, but as of right now, you just got a team that's peaking at the right time, trending in the right direction, and they're well coached offensively and defensively, and they do some good things that some of the best teams in the league right now don't do. And when you structure it that way, when you play with that type of confidence, you're gonna win a lot of games. So I think this is a team that's peaking at the right time, like I said, and they're gonna beat some teams over the next couple of weeks, and it's gonna continue to be surprising for us and for the rest of the National Football League in terms of what the New England Patriots are. Couple pieces away, they found those pieces, and now they're winning games.
All right, look, Wiles, I'm not surprised. You know this. Just like you, I picked the Patriots to make the playoffs. I picked Mac Jones to play well, which he certainly is doing. He's obviously playing the best of all the quarterback rookies. But the question was Super Bowl contender. And I'm not ready to go there. They're going to make the playoffs, I believe. These last 4 wins, it's not just 4 wins. They're 4 impressive wins. Obviously, yesterday, the blowout. Blew out Carolina. Beat, a pretty good Chargers team, although they're kind of looking suspect. And then they played the Jets, yes, but they routed the Jets. The reason I won't go Super Bowl contender, though, is as great as that defense is, and we know Belichick can make some quarterbacks look mediocre or pedestrian. No rookie quarterback, Wilds, has ever led a team to the Super Bowl, let alone winning the Super Bowl. No rookie quarterback has ever led a team to the Super Bowl. Few have led Big Ben to the AFC or NFC title games, but never to the Super Bowl. And as good as Mac Jones looks, look, I would put Buffalo, Kansas City, and Baltimore ahead of him. I can't go Tennessee because Derrick Henry's out. But look, playoff team, yes. Super Bowl contender, Nick, I'm not ready to go that far on the Patriots.
I appreciate you slightly pumping the brakes, Broussard. I'm going to slam on the brakes. But first, because I'm a man of integrity, I have to give Mac Jones some credit. Because I've been critical of Mac Jones. Mac Jones, without a doubt, was the best quarterback in the league yesterday that didn't throw for 200 yards. He was better than Goff. He was better than Russell Wilson. He was better than all the quarterbacks that were in the 100-yard club. Just like the previous week, by the way, last week, in the dominating win over Carolina. He was the best quarterback in the league that week that didn't throw for 150 yards. Okay? So we can make this about Mac Jones. It's not about Mac Jones. It's actually more about what's happening to the Browns. But I will, Wilds, mull this over the rest of the show. And maybe you can give me an answer before 9:30. I'm willing to make this bet with you. I don't think Super Bowl is even fair. I think the Patriots are more likely to miss the playoffs than they are to win a playoff game. I think if you have to pick one of those two doors, they are more likely to be on the outside looking in of the postseason than they are to be alive in round 2 of the postseason or win a playoff game. But to me, I mean, I understand they're 6-4, and I understand they have the win over the Chargers. Every other win has, prior to yesterday, came against essentially a rookie quarterback, or Darnold is just terrible quarterback. The problem for me, Vic, is this. And the reason I think it's more about the Browns. What do we know about Belichick for 20 years? He annihilates rookie or inexperienced quarterbacks. And yesterday, he made Baker Mayfield look like a rookie quarterback. Forget what the Patriots did on offense. Let's talk about what the Browns didn't do. I thought yesterday, and I know he's hurt, and I know he got hurt again, and I know they don't have Odell, I know all of it. But all of the Baker Mayfield critics, everything they say about him was true yesterday. He looked baffled. He looked unprepared. Once they got down, it looked like it was over. I thought yesterday was a massive indictment on Baker, and one that's going to be tough to recover from, Mike.
Yeah, Baker didn't look good yesterday, and look, I mean, it's certainly an indictment on him because the ball is in his hands, and there's been a lot of things transpiring over there with that organization, and you got to point the finger at Baker Mayfield for a lot of reasons, and nevertheless, let's not take attention away from the New England Patriots and what they've done well. They don't make the schedule; they just play it. The fact that Bill Belichick know how to play young quarterbacks or defend rookie quarterbacks and make them look mediocre or pedestrian, that's not their fault. They just come in and do their job, and that's what's most important. And that's what I like about this New England Patriots team. They tough. They're going to hit you. They're going to play man coverage. They're going to get up in your hip, and they're not going to give you any freebies, and you got to earn everything. And it's always been that way for the New England Patriots. Baker Mayfield just got a heavy dose of that yesterday, and then he checked out.
Didn't look good. Didn't look at all. Again, hurt his leg at the end of that one. And that schedule, by the way, for the Patriots has the Falcons up next Thursday night. Falcons also did not look good yesterday. Back talking Knicks quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Was his 5-touchdown performance last night a sign of things to come? Talk some Chiefs next. First things first. Oh, this week, Thursday Night Football, Mac Jones leading the Patriots to Atlanta to battle Matt Ryan and the Falcons. It all starts 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox NFL Network and streaming on Prime Video. Pats and Falcons, Thursday Night Football. Time now for Stores to start your morning, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. And we'll start with some Sunday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs had their way with the Raiders. Mahomes looked nothing like the guy that we were wondering if he still had it. Remember that guy? This guy threw for 406 yards. This guy threw for 5 touchdown passes. Chiefs blowing out the Raiders. Meanwhile, up in New England, it was Mac Jones and the Patriots firing on all cylinders against Baker and the Browns. Mac, very efficient, threw 3 touchdowns as the Patriots won big 45-7 over Baker Mayfield and that Cleveland team. They win their 4th in a row. So Wilds, Chiefs and Patriots.
Yeah.
Both 6-4, both trending up. Which team do you trust more moving forward?
Be honest, Wilds.
I trust the Chiefs more. I trust the Chiefs more, Nicholas. I think the Chiefs are the more likely team to win the Super Bowl than the Patriots. But the fact that we're even in the conversation is a huge win for us. And now we were going to say, oh, Jenna, if there was an award for strongest person, and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Kevin Wilds, they were like, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm like, the fact that I'm being mentioned means that I'm pretty strong, because the Patriots dynasty was supposed to be long over. Oh, the torch wasn't even passed. It was stolen, Broussard. Patrick Mahomes grabbed the dynasty torch. Uh-oh. We took 1 year of the dynasty off. We went to Europe.
Gap year.
We spent some time in Paris. We fell in love, and then we came back. Said, how was your gap year? So I learned a lot about it myself. But guess what? The dynasty's back on track. And you guys have a $500 million quarterback, the new GOAT. We just drafted a kid out of Alabama. But all of a sudden, you look up, uh-oh, we're both 6-4. So yes, the answer is probably the Chiefs. But the fact that there's no separation between the Chiefs and the Patriots, when we had to reload our entire team and get a rookie out of Alabama, and we're right there on par with the Chiefs, well, I think the answer is the Chiefs are more likely to, I trust a little bit more. But we are now on the same plane, my friend, you and me, shaking hands, buddies at 6-4, both cheering on great teams. Well, I couldn't really do it otherwise.
No, Broussard, I'm still processing everything Wilds just said, because a week ago, the Chiefs were out of the playoffs, and now he trusts them more than the Patriots, who an hour and a half ago he was printing up Super Bowl T-shirts for. So I have to process this weird gymnastics Wildes just did. So you go ahead, Broussard, while I try to figure out what I just listened to. I'm a little stunned.
Well, look, Wildes,
to be honest,
you know that you and I are in lockstep on the Patriots, right? We both picked them to make the playoffs. Nick mocked us.
Facts.
We both stood by them, and looks like they're gonna be in. We both like Mac Jones. Now, ceiling-wise, yeah, I take Trevor Lawrence long term. But right now, Mac Jones is the best rookie quarterback in the NFL. So we're in lockstep on that. All right, here's the problem, though, I have with what you just said. If you're a dynasty, you're not excited about being in the conversation. All right? Is Greg Popovich excited about being in the play-in game? No.
He should be.
The dynasty is dead until they get back to the Super Bowl and win it. Because now the bar is so high in New England that just making the playoffs, just being pretty good is not enough. So that's where I part ways with you, in that this dynasty is still dead, Wildes, until they at least get to the Super Bowl. All right, and I'm with you, and I'm sure I'm with Nick. The Chiefs are the team that I believe in mostly. And look, I picked them, me and Nick, in the preseason to win the Super Bowl. I am not as certain about that, or them even getting to the Super Bowl, as I was before the season began. I had no doubt that they were going to win the AFC. There's doubt now. Buffalo's tough. Baltimore's up and down, but obviously they're tough. Tennessee, they look good even without Derrick Henry. I mean, it's going to be a challenge. However, if I had right now, Nick, if I still had to pick one team, because all of them are up and down, I would go with Kansas City to win the AFC, because I think they're just going to get better and better.
Yeah, listen, the Chiefs are more likely to win the Super Bowl than the Patriots are to win a playoff game. Right, you guys are, I'm very happy for the Wildes and Broussard victory lap on a Patriots playoff pick that right now is a half game of being correct. Half game. I think the Patriots are more likely to miss the playoffs than they are to win a single playoff game. This idea that because they have beaten Zach Wilson twice, Davis Mills, Sam Darnold for 4 of their 6 wins, that we should all of a sudden be saying the Patriots dynasty is back. Took a gap year in New England. Everyone's mind's been melded on what is and what isn't. What is definitely true is they have the best coach in the NFL. The defense can take apart quarterbacks that aren't top-tier quarterbacks. And yesterday, Baker Mayfield looked anything but a top-tier quarterback, so I'm happy for them. I'm very interested to see how the Patriots look against the Bills, who are right now probably the 2nd most dangerous team in the AFC. I would love to see them play the Titans, the 3rd most dangerous team in the AFC, because they're not going to get to play the Chiefs this year, who are the most dangerous team in the AFC. And my question for the Chiefs, critics, skeptics, would be, do you feel as dumb as you sounded? Oh, Nick, that's too harsh. No, it's really not. Because here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes, Wildes, was the first player in sports history that was not allowed to slump. Patrick Mahomes, year 1, how'd he do? He won league MVP, 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. Year 2, how'd he do? Super Bowl MVP. Year 3, how'd he do? He was 14 1/3 in the MVP voting, got back to the Super Bowl. Year 4, how'd he do? The first month of the year, he was the best quarterback in football. Second month of the year, he was terrible. Figured out. Turnover machine. Check the ball down. Can we just show quarterbacks who have had a turnover more recently than Patrick Mahomes? I'm sure it's a short list because he's a turnover machine. Oh, wait, it's the whole league, including, look at that. I don't know. Why is Mac Jones' head bigger than everybody's? I don't know.
So big.
Do you get bonus points for also it's turnovers and had a dirty play involved? You get enlarged? I'm not sure. So right now, what is the concern with the Chiefs? Well, the defense has been dominant the last month. Mahomes, as promised, turned his season around with one throw. The throw against the Packers. Meanwhile, Wildes, honest question. Do you think you guys can even split with Buffalo? Do you think you can win one of the two?
Yes, I think.
Forget going 2-0.
I think the goal is to go 1-1.
They can.
I'm not like going crazy. I don't say we're gonna like to sweep Buffalo. I think if we win at home, and last year we were a fumble away from winning on the road. I think if we lose on the road, win at home, we're fine. I'm not gonna say we're sweep Buffalo.
So for the no. But to win the division, you've got to sweep Buffalo is the reason I ask it. I think if you split with Buffalo, Broussard, the Patriots can't win the division, and I don't think you can ask Mac Jones to go on the road and win playoff games, Broussard.
Nick, one thing I didn't really like yesterday I saw from the Chiefs, really the only thing, I didn't really like all the reaction afterwards about, oh, we got our swagger back. We got our swagger back. Like, everybody was mentioning swagger. It was one regular season game. What if you lose to Dallas? Then where's the swagger now? Is the confidence gone? Like, I thought that was a bit of an overreaction. For a team that's won a Super Bowl.
That's the thing with swagger. Once it comes back, even if with a loss, it remains. You have to lose back-to-back to lose the swagger once you have it back, Jenna. Those are the swagger rules.
You're the swagger king and expert, I know.
The conversation continues undisputed
right
now.